We all love a sneaky old Thieves Guild, but figuring out how to have your party actually become part of a Thieves Guild naturally can be challenging. So today we're discussing the entry points we created for the party so they can organically find themselves amongst your standard klepto-handed criminal organization, along with a subsequent initiation quest the party are required to do to become full-fledged members. And with that, let's get going. Kicking off, we don't need to go crazy and overthink it. Let's begin with the simple, how could the party jump into a Thieves Guild questline? Maybe it could be something like, they go into like a tavern or whatever. Like there's somebody in the town who's very easy to pickpocket themselves, right? They have a big bag of dangly cash or something like that. And if the party go out of their way to actually pickpocket that individual, right? If the rogue sees the bag and gets their grubby little hands all like sweaty and ready to grab, maybe that can sort of like instigate a quest that way. And maybe it's one of those quests where it's like, you know, a little bit of a plot hook is given there, but the party still need to step in, because something like a Thieves Guild, I think actually can be a little bit more agency based as far as from the party's perspective, as like the party can be the ones initiating it. If the party if they do thievery and seek it out, then they get into the guilds, because you know, a lot of quests you can kind of go like, here's the quest and run with it. But Thieves Guild can be a little bit, I think in this situation could maybe be a little bit more, the party need to go out of their way. With this initial idea down, I wanted to create a second entry point the party could engage with. So I think we can maybe have a couple different entry points for the quest. As I said, so one can maybe be pickpocketing and one can maybe be stealing an item from a store. And if the party steal the item, then it can just like all be the same interaction that happens after that. But yeah, we can have a couple different ways of like tempting the party to commit crime. I think this optionality is important because I didn't just want to have one single thing that the party can easily miss if they don't engage with the town in the right way. With 2 entry points in hand, it was time to flesh out these experiences, and we did so by creating the NPC the party could pickpocket. I'm thinking there's an NPC and they're wearing like a purple gown. They're wearing a purple gown. They're being quite like vociferous and loud and saying like, I'm so wealthy. I'm a merchant from the merchant place and I'm doing merchant things and I have all this fatty cash from my merchanting. Or maybe not a merchant. They're like, I'm a person with money. I'm a big money bags individual. How did I get it? Nepotism and corruption. It's the best way. The man with the big purse is called Ramini the Oblivious. Mwah. Love that. Love that. As we figured out Ramini as a character, we needed to figure out how they operate in regards to the quest. So maybe, okay, I think it jangles around the market for a bit, and I think there should be chance to stealth in the market. But I think we need to like send Ramini to like a slightly different location. You know, maybe we like path them a little bit video gamey, but I think this is going to be like one of the more video gamey type quests. Obviously, if you're a DM, do whatever you want. But having just a little bit of pathing, I think is going to be useful. We go back to our town map. They're going to be here. And I think maybe they can like path back to a tavern and then stay the night at a tavern. I don't know, something like that. It can be pretty simple pathing, and then from there, they're going to be very easy to pickpocket or steal from. And then, you know, we can get one of our tavern maps. Maybe we make another tavern map. I really, really, really enjoyed making them, so keen to make more. Yeah, I think let's do that. While we routed them from the market to the tavern, Ramini, as a big braggadocious character who was rolling with fat stacks, could really appear anywhere and be a clear target for the party. And I like the idea of the party being able to pickpocket them in the moment or biding their time and stealing from them in the tavern when they go to sleep, catering both to more impulsive parties and those who are more methodical and patient. This led to the question, how do the Thieves Guild find the party after their thieving of Ramini's coin? I think maybe the bag can have like a small tracking device. That makes sense. Like it can have like a magical tracking stone that like when the party pick it up, they're able to just like find the party, right? We can have something fun like that. Why not? It's a fantasy realm. I'm gonna go crazy. Yeah, fantasy tracking device. Why not? Why not? As plotline 1 was complete-ish, this led us to creating plotline 2, where the party steals something from a store. The big things we needed to consider was how can we prompt the party to steal, and what sort of item could that be? Johnny's Curios and Antiques is the store that just acquired an overly jeweled dagger. Overly, hey, represent. An overly jeweled dagger worth 2,500 gold. Yeah. That's the perfect sort of, because I was thinking like, and I think we can have like maybe 2 or 3 items that can be like placed in different stores. Like if they go to an alchemy store, they can be like a potion magic-y item that's like of similar inflated value. Daggers work in sort of general stores, obviously like weapons shops, blacksmiths, stuff like that. So I think we can think of like a couple items like that, which are gonna grab, right? When you're like listing off like, hey, what's in this store? And the DM's like, oh, you know, there's all sort of the standard stuff. There's some like nice leather armor. There's like one studded piece. You know, they seem to be working on chainmail, but it's not done at the moment. There's like a scimitar that's like kind of nice. There's a longsword. There's a bow. The most notable thing there is, you know, this really, really jeweled and very vibrantly garish even jeweled dagger that's being priced at over 2,500 gold, whatever. And that's going to like click in the party's head of like, oh, okay. You know, if you just sort of like put that in there with the rest of the noise without being too crazy. And I think that is a jeweled dagger is al dente. I meant al dente, but al dente as far as one of the items goes. So hot. Naturally, we started thinking about how both Jemiah and Ramani could be related to the Thieves Guild. Jemiah would also be a member, right? Yeah, I think like anyone, and they don't necessarily have to be like a member. They could be maybe like a fence, right? Because if they're a Thieves Guild associate, like not everyone has to be in the Thieves Guild, but they can definitely be related. To really actualize these operations, I would make a store map with a dagger the party can steal on it, as well as a tavern map where the party can nab that coin purse from Ramani, but both of these get their own videos. And of course you could use any tavern map or any store map, but I liked creating a map with these specific purposes in mind. I also want to mention why we made the items they steal worthless, as there's 2 reasons. Firstly, I think it narratively makes sense for a Thieves Guild to be crafty with their test and not put anything on the line. But also because I wanted to create a scenario where the party can investigate the dagger or even the bag of money they stole and realize they are fake, realize they are being played. And if they say something, they can get into the guild this way, rewarding players that aren't just some thieves themselves, but have a keen eye for when they're being cheated. As always, catering to different types of players and playstyles. With 2 engaging entry points down, the next major question to answer was, how do the party get contacted after they do their theft? As sort of mentioned, we would have magical tracking spells cast on both the fake bag of gold and the near worthless dagger. This would also allow for the Thieves Guild initiator NPC to track them down easily and approach them wherever is most convenient. This aforementioned NPC would be someone called Little Red Robin Hood, who'd have their characteristics derived from the 2 stories they're named after. As such, I imagine this as a more fun and flamboyant character. Maybe because it's like Robin Hood is a very flamboyant and performative figure, right? I think they can be performative. This is the person who we're going to have come in and talk to. We're going to have them come in and talk to the party. And I think they can treat it, you know, like a performance. Like they've got their little speech worked up and they're doing the like, well done. You found the pickpocket item you meant to. You stole the dagger from the store. Not many is as good as you. But that's why we want you for the Thieves Guild. That's right. My name's Little Red Robin Hood, and I've been watching you and your party for a little while. You've caught my eye, certainly, and let me say, I'm impressed. I haven't seen sticky fingers like that since I saw myself in a mirror this morning. Like, I think they can have that sort of bravado, that flamboyance, and they really sort of like sell the party. They enjoy doing the speech. They enjoy doing the recruitment. I think that is fun. While I liked the pickpocketing and dagger stealing, it felt a little bit light. So I wanted to add another quest the party are required to do before they get fully initiated into the Thieves Guild. I figured we could have them break into a house to steal something. You know, thieving. But this is really basic, so we ended up making something much more detailed and way more interesting. The party are asked to break into a manor filled with traps, treasures, and secret passageways. The manor is actually the base of the Thieves Guild, and the whole thing is a setup so the Thieves Guild can observe the party in their stealing ways. This was a crazy fun map to make, and it has its own video coming out soon, which goes into all the small little minutiae about the traps and treasures and funky dunky stuff we did for this quest. After the party are finished with this manor theft, they will have access to the manor, which is the base they can stay. We lastly created a few NPCs the Thieves Guild could have to make it feel a little bit more full and filled out. I love Thieves Guilds, I mean most people do, right? And while I think their quests can often lead to some of the best sessions, the original starting quests for how the party get into the Thieves Guild can sometimes be clunky, overly obtuse, and even slightly boring. So I'm really happy with this two-stage initiation we created, as I think both steps have a lot which can engage the party and will naturally flow within the context of the world, which is amazing. And that's the video. If you like to do theft in a fantasy setting or in real life, then subscribe to the channel for more weekly D&D resources to aid your Harlequin habits. If you want to get access to the module for this quest, a bunch of other quests, over 100 maps, or you just want to support the channel, then check out the Patreon, and thank you so much to everyone who has already done just that. Lastly, thanks for watching, and as always, I will see you in the next one. Bye!